Try it right now. Run your fingers along your own ribs. Dig into your own side, your neck, the soft spot under your arm. Nothing happens. No squirm, no helpless laughter, no urge to pull away. Now imagine someone else doing the exact same thing. Same fingers, same pressure, same spot. Suddenly you're a different creature entirely, gasping, twisting, laughing before you can stop yourself. Same body, same nerves, same touch. So why does one version do nothing at all, while the other one nearly undoes you? The answer isn't in your skin. It's in a quiet prediction your brain makes a fraction of a second before your hand ever arrives. Here's what's actually happening. Every time you decide to move, your brain doesn't just send a command to your muscles. It also sends a copy of that command inward to a part of your brain that acts like a private forecaster. Scientists call this copy an efference copy. Its whole job is to guess what you're about to feel. Before your fingers touch your ribs, that forecaster has already run the simulation. It knows the speed, it knows the angle, it knows the exact moment of contact. And when the real sensation arrives, matching the prediction perfectly, your brain shrugs. Expected. Boring. It turns the volume down. This turning down has a name: sensory attenuation. Your brain deliberately mutes sensations you cause yourself, so the important stuff, the things you didn't cause, can stand out. Think about why that would matter. You are touching things all day long. Your clothes drag across your skin. Your tongue rests against your teeth. Your feet press the floor with every step. If your brain screamed at you about all of it, you'd drown in noise. So it filters. It whispers, "That was just you," and moves on. A tickle from someone else breaks that whole system. You didn't send the command. There was no efference copy, no forecast. The touch arrives raw, unpredicted, unfiltered, at full volume, in one of the most defended regions of your body. And your nervous system does what it evolved to do with the unexpected and the vulnerable. It panics just a little, in the shape of a laugh. So the real question was never, why can't you tickle yourself? The real question is, how good is your brain at predicting itself? In the late 1990s, a young neuroscientist named Sarah-Jayne Blakemore set out to catch this prediction in the act. Working in London with Daniel Wolpert and Chris Frith, she put people inside brain scanners and had them experience touch on their palm in two ways. Sometimes a machine touched them. Sometimes they moved a lever to touch themselves. The physical sensation was identical. But the brain's response was not. When the touch was self-produced, a region called the somatosensory cortex went quiet. When the exact same touch came from outside, that same region lit up. Blakemore had found the mute button. She had watched the brain turn down a sensation simply because it saw the sensation coming. Then she went further. What if you could break the prediction? She built a tickling robot. A soft piece of foam on a mechanical arm would stroke a person's palm. In one version, you moved a lever and the robot copied your movement instantly. That felt like tickling yourself, barely anything. But then she added a delay. A tiny lag between your movement and the robot's touch, 1/5 of a second, then a bit more, and something strange happened. As the delay grew, the tickle grew. The longer the gap between your action and the sensation, the more ticklish it felt, even though you were still the one causing it. Sit with that. Your own touch became ticklish the moment your brain's forecast stopped matching reality. The prediction went stale, the sensation broke free of the filter, and your nervous system treated your own hand like a stranger's. You are not ticklish because of your skin. You are ticklish because of a mismatch. This idea is older than the science. Around 2,000 years ago, Aristotle noticed the same puzzle and wondered why humans couldn't tickle themselves. He guessed it had something to do with surprise. He was closer than he knew. Centuries later, Charles Darwin picked up the thread. In his work on the expression of emotion, Darwin argued that tickling laughter needs two things. The right spot must be touched, and the touch must be unexpected. He noted that a child laughs hardest when tickled by someone else, and that even knowing where the tickle is coming from can spoil it entirely unexpected. There's that word again. The mind must not know exactly what's coming. But if this is all about prediction, a deeper question opens up. Why laughter? Why not just flinch? A hot stove makes you jerk away in silence. A spider on your neck makes you recoil in horror. Why does an unpredicted touch on your ribs come wrapped in something that looks like joy? Here scientists split into camps, and the story gets stranger. One clue comes from where you're ticklish: the neck, the ribs, the armpit, the soft belly, the inner thigh. Look at that map and notice something unsettling. These are exactly the places you would protect in a fight, the vulnerable spots, the soft gates to the arteries and organs. Your most ticklish zones are your most defenseless ones. Some researchers believe tickling is a kind of ancient training. A way that young mammals, through play, learn to guard those weak points, to react fast, to twist away from a hand at the throat. Watch two puppies or two children wrestle and you'll see it. The squealing, the reaching, the mock defense. The laughter isn't just fun. It might be rehearsal for survival, disguised as a game, which raises a haunting detail. There are two different kinds of tickle, and scientists gave them two different names. The light, feathery kind that makes you shiver is called nismesis. The heavy, laughing, can't-take-it kind is called gargalesis. Only gargalesis makes you laugh. And here's the part that stays with you. Gargalesis almost always requires another person. You cannot deliver it to yourself. The laughing tickle is, by its very nature, social. That word matters more than it seems, because the psychologist Christine Harris ran an experiment to test just how social it really is. If tickling laughter is simply a reflex, a machine should be able to trigger it. So she told people a machine would tickle them, hit a person operating it, and watched. People laughed and squirmed just as much whether they thought it was a machine or a human. At first, that seemed to break the social theory. But look closer. The laughter was a reflex, yes, an automatic bodily response. And yet in real life, no one tickles a machine and a machine tickles no one. The reflex only ever fires in a bond, between a parent and a baby, between siblings, between lovers. It is a reflex built for closeness, a nervous system wired to respond to the touch of someone who has gotten close enough to reach your softest, most guarded skin. Now hold all of this together, because this is where it turns back on you. The reason you can't tickle yourself is the same reason you can walk without watching your feet, speak without hearing every echo, and lift a cup without being startled by its weight. Your brain is not a camera passively recording the world. It is a prediction machine, constantly guessing the next instant and quietly editing your reality to match. Most of what you experience as now is actually your brain's forecast of now, confirmed a heartbeat later. You live inside that forecast. You almost never notice it because it's almost always right. But when it's wrong, you feel it as something dramatic. The stare that isn't there in the dark. The step that's one shorter than you expected. The friend who taps your shoulder from behind. The lurch in your stomach when the elevator drops. Every one of those jolts is your prediction machine getting caught off guard, and a tickle is simply the gentlest, silliest version of the same alarm. There is one last detail, and it's the one that lingers. In some people whose sense of self-produced action is disturbed, this whole system slips. Studies have found that certain individuals experiencing symptoms of psychosis can, unlike almost everyone else, tickle themselves. Their brain's forecaster misfires. It stops labeling their own movements as clearly their own. And so a self-touch arrives feeling foreign, unpredicted other, which means that unremarkable little fact that you can't tickle yourself is quietly doing something profound. Every time your fingers brush your own ribs and nothing happens, your brain is confirming a boundary. This is me. This came from me. I am the author of this touch. The silence under your own fingers is not nothing. It is your brain, whispering that you are still the one in here, still predicting, still yourself. So go ahead. Run your fingers along your own ribs one more time. Feel that quiet, that flat and total nothing. That nothing is the sound of your brain knowing exactly who you are.